Hello everyone, it's Karen and welcome to another video. Now, today I'm going to be doing a box set video of something that I recently got and I've wanted to show on the channel. Haven't shown it on the channel yet. Now, I did an unboxing of this box set, but I had a bit of interruption with the things in the background and whatnot, so I decided I'm going to just show the box set, and it's this. Stranger in Town, a Del Shannon Compendium. So this is a box set that came out last year that has everything that Del Shannon recorded and released in his career. Now, pretty much for those who don't know who Del Shannon was, he was a rock and roll singer from the 1960s. His big hit was a song called Runaway, and he had quite a few hits in the 1960s like Hats Off to Larry, Little Town Flirt, Keep Searching, Swiss Made as well was another one of his big hits over here. He was more appreciated over here in this country in the UK, whereas in America it kind of wasn't as appreciated as much as he should have been. You know, he influenced and inspired quite a few musicians in the music world, from the Beatles, Jeff Lynne credits Del Shannon as being a big inspiration, as does Tom Petty. He even influenced Bruce Springsteen as well, so yeah, definitely. He had a lot of admirers across the music world over the Atlantic on both sides, and even Neil Young was an admirer as well. So we're just going over all the contents in this box set, what's in it, and just that kind of thing. Here's the front, nice picture of Del on the front. Just the sticker that explains there. So it says a 312 track. It's a deluxe 12 CD box set. 302 track career spanning set containing Runaway, Hey Little Girl and Swiss Made and all his hits, plus collaborations with Tom Petty and Jeff Lynne, B-side, demos and 8 previously unreleased tracks, and a 32-page booklet features photos and inferior, plus an extensive annotation by Alan Robinson. So this is on like the Edsel label. So there's the front, see, spine, not much on the top or bottom. And there's the back, all the contents. So the albums we're getting here are Runaway with Del Shannon, Hats Off to Del Shannon, Little Town Flirt, Handyman, Del Shannon Sings Hank Williams, 1,661 Seconds with Del Shannon, This Is My Bag, Total Commitment, Home and Away, Further Adventures of Charles Westover, that was his real name, Live in England and then some single tracks, Dublin Sessions, Drop Down and Get Me, the Nashville Sessions, which contain some singles as well, Rock On, Rare Tracks and Demos Volumes 1 and 2 are the last 2 discs. So that's the content. So slide it out. It's quite a nice wee setup. There's all the it's in here. And here is the booklet. Liner notes as well and little quotes down there. Some little newspaper articles and some photos as well. That's the first disc. And all the recording dates as well are included, which is really cool. Ooh. Some rare and unseen pictures too, which is nice. It's a nice picture of him and Tom Petty down there, which I've never seen before. Little like concert tickets as well, and programs as well for concerts, so that's very interesting. That's the book. Very good book, must say. Very, very good booklet. Okay, we're going to start with the CDs. So here's the first one, which we have Runaway with Del Shannon and Hats Off to Del Shannon on the first disc. So these are like 2 albums combined into one, or in some cases it'll just be the 1 album. But here we go. There's the tracks there. I have these 2 as original monos on the London label on vinyl. Some of these these are only copies I have. The vinyls can be tricky for these sometimes, but you can find them at the right time on eBay sometimes for a decent price, particularly like the early 60s albums. They tend to be Not too much, not terribly expensive, but there's still some which can be very tricky. So, but anyway. So that was kind of like this big one. And then we have Little Town Flirt and Handyman. Now, hats off to Del Shannon was only a UK release. It was kind of released in like promotion for a tour he was doing over here in the UK. And when Little Town Flirt came out in America, it had 3 single tracks, which were Hey Little Girl, Runaway, and Hats Off to Larry. And Runaway, of course, was also on the debut album as well. And Hats Off to Larry and Hey Little Girl were both hit singles over in both sides. So it would make sense that the UK company London, as the American company Big Top, London in America over here, changed those tracks for 2 Silhouettes, My Wild One, and his version of the Beatles song From Me to You. And of course the Handyman album on here as well. I've got Little Town Flirt as a mono original on vinyl, but Handyman's quite difficult. But I have seen it on eBay for like £20, so I may get it sooner or later. We've got some bonus tracks in here which are single and B-side tracks, which are really interesting. Some of these albums I've yet to hear, but the first 3 I've shown or talked about. How first 3 albums, Runaway with Del Shannon, Hats Off to Del Shannon, Little Town Flirt, they're really good. Yet to hear Handyman though, but that should hopefully be good. I've heard bits and pieces in like Greatest Hits albums, so yeah. And there's little like bonus tracks down there as well, which I've never before I think been issued. Well, I think they were on the Bear Family box set in 2004. The third one, Del Shannon sings Hank Williams and 1,661 seconds with Del Shannon. And of course, Del had the hit Keep Searching on this one and Stranger in Town on that one. And the first album was Del Shannon sings Hank Williams, which I know I've seen on eBay for not too much money, but the other one, 1,661 seconds, is quite difficult to get hold of. But he does Running Scared, which is a Roy Orbison song here. A little fact about Del Shannon was he was also the first artist to have an Lennon and McCartney composition in the American charts before the Beatles made it big in America. They were touring, they were playing a concert at the Albert Hall in London in 1963, and Del was really impressed with what he saw, with how well the Beatles were doing over in Britain. And I think before he went on, and they were in the dressing room at the Albert Hall, and Del says to John Lennon, "Oh, I'd like to record From Me to You." And John's like, yeah, sure. But then John was initially worried that if Del Shannon did it, it would hurt their chances of making a big record in America. So before Del went on, John Lennon goes, "Don't do it." But Del went ahead and did it anyway. So yeah, there we are. So there's that one. And there's some B-side tracks in here as bonuses as well. So yeah, you'll get that, and you'll get some demo tracks as well. So this will definitely be an interesting listen. And then we get into 1966 with This Is My Bag and Total Commitment. These 2 are very, very difficult to get hold of on vinyl. I did see a copy of This Is My Bag for £14 as a stereo pressing on eBay, but it was sold by the time I got around to it. But still need to keep an eye out for that one, but hopefully I'll find them all eventually. I've heard bits and pieces of each album, but there's a really good cover of the Roy Orbison song Oh Pretty Woman on here. And there's also does a cover of the Searchers song When You Walk in the Room. And there's also a version on Total Commitment of Under My Thumb by the Rolling Stones and Summer in the City from, I think it's The Loving Spoonful. Yeah, quite a nice green colour in this. Some of them have got quite nice colours. Home and Away, this is disc 5. Now this was initially, Del went to London in 1967 and he recorded with Andrew Lou Goldham, who was the manager and producer of the Rolling Stones. And he recorded this album in London, but it never came out. It wouldn't be until 2006 that the album eventually got its release, which was that one, Home and Away. But during that he re-recorded Runaway in those sessions, so there's the songs, some singles as well, and oh, forgot to show the disc of other one as well. I know they're all going to be the same picture as what's on the front cover, so there might not be any point in showing them, but you know, it's always good to show them in case anybody's interested in buying this box. That is eventually will be there. Further Adventures of Charles Westover, which is, of course is Del Shannon's real name. That's the UK cover, and that was the picture we had for America. And some more bonus tracks as well, and further unreleased recordings as well. So that was 1968, this one. And I should have probably said that Runaway with Del Shannon was 61, Hats Off to Del Shannon was 63, Little Town Flirt was 63, Handyman was 64. Both Hank Williams and the 1,661 Seconds were both 65, and This Is My Bag and Total Commitment were 66. Then we get Live in England, which was an album he did of his like UK tour of 1972, recorded in Manchester. So some single tracks as well. And one of the highlights from his later years is a song called And the Music Plays On. That I heard on a CD compilation called Runaway with Del Shannon. Really good CD if you can track that down. That one I heard. That's probably one of the greatest highlights of this song and that I know of. Some of this stuff I know through the greatest hits, but there's some other stuff that I don't yet know too well. Live in England I've seen on eBay quite a few times for a good price, so I'm definitely going to try and keep my eye on that if I find it, for when I buy it. Then we get the Dublin Sessions and then Drop Down and Get Me. So in the 1970s, Del Shannon had kind of had a struggle with alcohol, and then he went into rehab, got himself sober, and then he recorded a number of tracks in Dublin in 1977, and he mixed them in Los Angeles, but they never came out. And in the end, he ended up just releasing and working with Tom Petty on Drop Down and Get Me. The Dublin Sessions I have heard, so I can't comment, and they're really good. I really liked Best Days of My Life, Till I Found You, Raylene's a great song. Another good version of Roy Orbison's Oh Pretty Woman. Another Lonely Night, Amanda, and Today I Started Loving You Again is a good one. Drop Down and Get Me is a really great album as well, produced by Tom Petty and has involvement from the Heartbreakers as well. That came out in 1981. But the Dublin Sessions would not be released until 2017, so a mere 40 years on from the original recordings. But yeah, Drop Down and Get Me is a brilliant album. Got that on vinyl. Then we have the Nashville Sessions with a couple of songs that I think a couple of these were released as singles. So some of these are seen released for the first time, I think. Yeah. These are from like 82 to 85. And then this album, Rock On. Great album, love this album, one of my favourite records. Produced by Jeff Lynne and Mike Campbell, so yeah, definitely a great album. I got this on the red vinyl Record Store Day release. And this has the bonus tracks that were issued on the CD of Rock On in 2007. Things like Hot Love, which was a B-side, One Woman Man was a B-side, Nobody's Business was a B-side as well. 2 unreleased songs for the first time, which were You Don't Know What You Got Until You Lose It, and a demo called Songwriter, which if you've heard that, it's a very kind of chilling listen, because a few weeks, just before the album came out, as I've said in another video, Del Shannon actually took his own life, and you hear the words to Songwriter and it's kind of like, it's very eerie considering a few weeks after recording that demo he died. But we've got a couple of extra bonus songs, which are It's a Lie, an unreleased song from 1979, and Runaway the Crime Story version. Now this was a Crime Story was a popular television show, and Del sang Runaway for the theme of that and rewrote some words to it, so yeah, interesting. So glad they chucked that in there for like historical purposes. And these two are rare demos and tracks, rare tracks and demos, volumes 1 and 2. There's volume 1 and that's 2. So these are like tracks from like 1960 through to 63, 64, and some of these are really quite interesting to hear, I think. Like there's versions of Runaway, Jody, The Prom, He Doesn't Care, Lies, Daydreams, Happiness, many of which later saw releases. So there's a lot of tracks that I'm looking at that would be definitely very interested to listen to, I reckon. So there we go, that's it for this video of A Stranger in Town, a Del Shannon Compendium. Hope you all enjoyed this this video. If you also like Del Shannon, leave a comment as well. Like, comment, subscribe. Definitely get this box set if you're a fan like me of Del Shannon. I know I don't normally tell you how much I pay for these box sets or stuff like that, but this cost me £67 on Amazon Prime. That's pretty good considering the content you get in here and 12 CDs, so definitely definitely well worth the money for this kind of thing. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I definitely recommend getting this box set, so I hope to do another video quite soon. As you know, I've got a lot of ideas I want to do. Definitely looking into updating my Elvis Vinyl Collection video, because I've got quite a lot of stuff since that last video in about a year and a bit ago. So I'm definitely going to do an update of that video quite soon. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video.